Hello fellow gamers, it's your boy Zero Inc. and I'm back with another Kickshot angle discussion, and today I wanted to talk about the APIs and more the architecture of each of the consoles. And the reason being is there's a lot of misinformation going around. With that being said, I want to talk about the differences between DirectX 12, which for any of you who don't think DirectX 12 will help Microsoft, you're crazy. How much remains to be seen. And I believe you may see several titles reach 1080p, 60 FPS, maybe not with a stable frame rate on the Xbox One at some point. Once there's a workaround, once DirectX 12 is fully implemented, maybe. But that remains to be seen. Now, a lot of people, they want to put out there that PlayStation hasn't hit 1080p, 60 FPS either. Look, let me bury this right now. Wolfenstein was 1080p 60 FPS locked. Metro Redux. Now, if you don't think that one ran fairly stable, or pretty much stable the whole game, then you're crazy. So that's two 1080p 60 FPS and Resogun. And I know everyone wants to discount Resogun because it's an indie game, but look how much is going on that screen. You're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things going on at once, including particle effects, lighting, and everything else, and it was able to hit 1080p 60. Now, how did they do that? Here's how they did that. The future is GPU. That's what Microsoft was built for, that's what PlayStation was built for, and that's even what Nintendo was built for. Now, Nintendo's been doing GPU coding and programming since GameCube. So Nintendo's above the curve. That's why their frame rates are so steady. That's why they always have a completed game in terms of a beautiful looking, nice playing, smooth playing game, because they've already made the jump to GPU. Now, the reason you see games like Assassin's Creed that are CPU heavy having a lot of trouble on the new systems is the new systems weren't really built for that. They were built for the GPU taking most of the work. Even Mark Cerny himself said in a PlayStation interview, he's surprised to see so much CPU compute in the launch titles. He thought he would see more GPU, which is what these systems were built for, and that actually does give PlayStation a huge advantage because of the GDDR5 unified memory with the CPU. If you don't know what that means, I hear this a lot too, that there's no custom parts in the PlayStation. There is custom parts in the PlayStation. It's the CPU, GPU chip. Basically, they have unified memory. The CPU and GPU work simultaneously with each other inside this same chip, which isn't even available on the market for PCs yet. Granted, it will be. I guarantee you AMD is going to make that happen, but the chip itself right now that's in the PlayStation 4, you cannot get off the shelf. Don't listen to people who tell you that. You cannot get the chip that's in PlayStation 4 right now off the shelf. You cannot get a lot of Microsoft parts off the shelf either, so Xbox does have a lot of custom parts in it. However, PlayStation 4 is semi-custom. There are things that belong strictly to PlayStation. Now, onto the APIs. PlayStation has a low-end API with a high-end wrapper. So basically, you get both sides of the spectrum, okay? It's called GNM and GNMX. And these are very beneficial, especially the low-end APIs. The reason why the low-end APIs are important is because it allows you to customize a lot of things you wouldn't be able to customize with a pre-made, pre-rendered image or assets, etc., etc. It allows you to get down to the metal. It allows you to customize even your own template if you want. A lot of people don't realize this isn't anything new for Sony, okay? Sony has been making its own engines for games for a while. Crash Bandicoot had 3 engines, 3 different engines that it was made with. So this is nothing new, but with the high-end wrapper, that allows third-party devs to do the DirectX 12 stuff, the DirectX 11 stuff. They have a great API. Nintendo has always had a good API, and I don't know much about the Nintendo API, but their API is pretty advanced in itself. Now, DirectX 12, onto DirectX 12. It will help Microsoft. I'm not saying that it won't, but it's not going to be as drastic as people think. And the difference between DirectX 12 and the Sony GNM and GNMX, DirectX 12 only goes down so far. That's why you have a lot of pre-made engines for DirectX, because all these developers want to use the same engine over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They just want to use Unreal Engine. They want to use Frostbite Engine. And the reason why I bring this up is I'm seeing a lot of people, they want to talk about it. And this does have to do with gaming, because it does have to do with the graphic fidelity of games. As things move towards GPU, you're going to see less CPU compute. You're going to see less AI work on the CPU. That's just the way that it is, and the big advantage comes from having the GDDR5. The bottleneck of the Microsoft system is the ESRAM. Now, if they put 64 megabytes of ESRAM in there, or they put more ESRAM in there, which they couldn't cram in there, obviously, or they would have, then yeah, they would be able to hit 1080p. They would be able to hit 60 frames per second. They would be able to hit all these things. The problem is finding a workaround that works for that ESRAM GDDR3. If you don't know what the cloth example is, it's when Ubisoft created it. Okay, it basically overtaxes the system to see what the system can do until it crashes. Now, when they did the CPU, the slightly overclocked Microsoft CPU did 115 dancing ladies, while PS4 only did 98, PlayStation 3 did 103, I think. So even PS3 was better than PS4 on the CPU end of it. However, the GPU, there were 1,600 dancing ladies on the PlayStation GPU. 1,600. While only 830 on the Xbox. Okay, this shows you how much more you can do with the GPU in PlayStation, because it's the newer version of GDDR and it's unified memory. So, do I think DirectX 12 is going to help? Absolutely, and I commend Xbox doing everything they can to give their fans the best. I don't believe it's going to be as drastic, but I do believe it will help. PlayStation's gonna be great, and so is Nintendo. So, keep gaming, gamers. Thank you for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.